you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
But I use it as a protection. And I thank Allah so much for the strength it gave me through that little material. A piece of material can save your life.
So you took it as an age insurance now as now many people mistake what you said to guide you to be guided to right, not the hat kuf itself, but the spirit with the granted. But many times people take it now as a talisman. They wear it now like this gonna protect me. And I think one of the most offensive things I've heard many times people when they quote traditions of the prophet, that you have so many children,
alleged tradition
of the messengers, and they said that you had this many children, you go to prayer. Like now, wait. Now you
know Prophet Muhammad didn't say that.
No, but it's been put out there so much now that people are now taking it now. They're whole in now with I'm gonna get so many daughters, so many sons.
But see, that's the great offense.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is another offense. That's the great offense against Islam.
Right.
That is not Islam they're practicing.
No, it's not.
They are not practicing Islam. They are practicing what Allah, Ahezaah, has coined or named Hadithism, the religion of Hadithism. The religion of Hadithism is equal to the religion of Christianity. Why do I say that? Because Christianity is something that Paul broke off, Paul and Romans and the descending Jews broke off from what Moses brought.
That's right.
Broke off from what Moses brought. Jesus did not represent Christianity.
No, he didn't.
Okay? Now, the historians know that. Most of our people don't have no concept of that. Okay? And Hadithism is something that the people of Islam broke off from the sayings of people who was companions, supposedly companions of Muhammad. Right. And I'm going to tell you something about companions, man. Companions, the near ones, are many times the less faithful. They're protected. They're victimized by Allah's patience with them and Allah's mercy upon them. But they do a lot of things. And we know a lot of stories about what happened back in the day in the times of Prophet Muhammad. You know, all of the dissension and all the rivalry and all the factions. And his body wasn't even cold when he passed before they got to fighting over who was going to lead. Right. You understand? And disregarded what he said about Ali and started putting everybody up except Ali as their caliphs.
That's right.
And then killed their caliphs. And the grandsons of the prophet. And all these things going on with the so-called companions and the faithful. You know, and then if brothers speak about those things, it's like if brothers speak about Muhammad being of the dark skin hue, you know, you got people that want to come and behead them or have somebody else go assassinate. Wait a minute, they're a problem. They telling the truth. We can't have them telling the truth. Who can't have them telling the truth? The offenders of Islam.
Right.
And who lead Islam? The offenders of Islam. Right. Who lead Christianity? The offenders of Moses. The offenders of the truth that Allah brought, which Muhammad said this is the same from what Moses and all those who came before you. Yeah. And if you study Islam in its fullness, and you study all the other religions in their fullness, and if you ask Ahezaah to speak to you, to guide you, to bless you, to not be lost of your own mind, but to follow its mind, what it has set forth for you, then you'll find the truth of the religion being one with all religions. That's right. But where people get confused when we're going to have a religious summit, like the so-called great religious minds of some years back call themselves getting together with a religious summit. We're going to bring all religions together. You can't bring them religions together as a true religion because they all have fallen off from the truth, fallen off from the path of truth. They're all false.
That's right.
It's all bad. And then they trying to represent from their colors like the gang members represent their colors. They represent their garments.
Right.
And they represent their philosophy. And no matter how hard or how much they get together, you always gonna say something to offend the other because Allah in His mercy is continuous.
Yes.
It continuously evolved its religion. It continuously brings back the truth
Yes.
against the offenders. So if people don't follow what Allah sent down today, to me, they are against Allah. They are disbelievers. They are rejectors of faith. I don't care what they call themselves, Muslim, Jew, Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, whatever. If they don't follow what Allah sent down today in this new covenant, then they will, when they get to the throne, they will be seen as rejectors of faith and disbelievers. And that's the same thing that Muhammad said to the people, and Moses said to the people, Jesus said to the people, Israel, all the prophets that brought the message of Allah. You must follow this. That's why Jesus, what he said, I am the way. For you,
That's right.
I am the path.
That's right.
I am that. I'm the sign. Follow this. You can't get to the Lord except through me. Who was he talking to? He wasn't talking to the whole world. He's talking to them people that was listening to him, that Allah sent them to. The only way you can get to Allah is if you come to me, because the Jews was holding on to something that they had, the Romans was holding on to something that they had, and then the people who did not even take up a religion was holding on to something they had, and they all had a piece of what Moses had and what people had before them had. You understand? And Jesus said you can't get there except this way. Now Allah, Ahezaah said today, you're not going to get there, people, except if you come by me. You come by this way which it has sent down. You see, now with people being offended by that, and people thinking I'm insane and what have you, how they going to ever come to know which way it is that the Lord has sent down?
But it's such profound enlightenment, and it's hard for me. I struggle to see how people can be. I can understand maybe early offense, but if you listen to it, you hear the clarity, you hear new stuff, you hear enlightenment. What I'm sometimes also confused about is how the people are with their low level of understanding. I'm not talking about the teachers who mislead them, who constantly teach them black-hearted stuff, but those low level people who have to have questions from time to time, and then hear these questions being answered and opened or re-raised, but they still go about in the spirit of arrogance.
Well, I'll give you an idea. You think about, slavery. A lot of people look at blacks as the only slave, but they don't know that Hispanics were made slaves. Filipinos made slaves. Caucasians were made slaves. The Slavics, that's where it comes from. They were slaves.
That's right.
You understand? Now, we were made slaves here in America. I should say the African Americans, those who were brought from Africa amongst our people, were made slaves. And some of us are still slaves in our minds. But the thing about it is, how difficult was it to take them slaves out of slavery once they had become initiated and blanketed in their minds, born in and raised in and nurtured in it? How difficult was it to turn them away from those people who were whipping them and doing them wrong?
Right.
Even today, you have some who love the opposite more than they love themselves.
That's true.
You see? And you have, for instance, since my coming, have any Caucasians came to my door and tried to take me down? Sure, the agents, of the high echelon, the elite people, send their agents to tap the phones and do all kinds of stuff, try to assassinate people in my family and the whole 9 yards with all that stuff. But how many have come down to confront me straight up? None. But our people have. They come for the slave master.
Yeah.
How dare you talk? Why don't you listen to what I'm saying? The truth is the light. If you listen and you take it in, you may see the light. You being ignorant and you being looking for your leader's permission to tell you, because that's what a lot of them doing. Like a young lady told me once, she said, I believe everything you say. I'm Muslim. I believe everything you say. But everybody else going that way and I'm scared. You scared of what? I'm afraid of them. I said, well, my Lord said that you should fear none but it.
That's right.
And that which you fear, you serve. He who fears the devil serves the devil. He who fears this government serves this government. He who fears his landlord serves his landlord's purpose. Because the landlord wants want to stay in authority over you, want to make sure you do what he wants you to do, or she wants you to do. You know, those who are in power of you. If you fear them, then you're going to serve their purpose. You understand? I feel the Lord Most High. And I see the Lord in everything. And I recognize the Lord in everything. So when someone comes to me and threaten me, of course they think I'm insane. They think I'm insane because I'm talking to the one that got control over them. And it's talking to me. And it's saying, look at them. They think they have the power and I am the power. And when I stand up there faithful and firm, they say, he must be crazy. He's got guns in his face, all kinds of stuff going on. And this guy standing up there, he's insane, man. No, I'm not. I'm inwardly sane. That's right. And outwardly sane. When you want to call it insane on a negative connotation, okay, you got something else going on. But I'm a realized man. Right. I'm aware. I'm in knowledge of the Lord. And the Lord said, you can't do a thing to me, you ain't going to do a thing to me. Right. And I truly believe that when the Lord is ready to take me out, it may take me out by one of their hands or their poison like they did with Muhammad. Right. Or whatever. Allah might take me out by age, but Allah said to me, they're not going to touch you. Mm-hmm. So I'm going on that. Now the Lord may come 30 years from now and say, okay, now I'm going to let them touch you. Prepare for death. Then my Lord called me back. Right. But see, nothing can happen except by the Lord's will. Now, Allah commands us to do a lot of things. And we don't follow his commands. People don't follow the commands of the Lord. But his will, you ain't getting past his will. Because everything happens by his will. That's right. You can disobey his command, but it will get you.
That's right.
Hmm?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about
offenses. Offenses.
Talking about the spirit over there for a second.
You did that for joke.
I think there's one that really, I guess because it affects millions upon millions of people in the United States, but I think one is the cross.
Oh, yes. But they don't know that they're offending their... Yeah. Wow. That's deep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the cross. The cross that they wear around their necks, the cross that they make when they make a touchdown, the cross that they stand up when they get their word and say, Lord. That.
When they say Lord, they talking about Jesus. When they say God, they talking about Jesus.
And the one, sometimes, well, now, I guess, I don't know if it's a fashion thing, but now the man is no longer on the cross. They used to wear the cross around their neck with supposedly Jesus on the cross.
So many people talked against that, saying, Jesus was a black man. How they gonna have a white man there, the hippie, who had hair, and Elijah brought that out. You know what I'm saying? So I guess they eventually moved away, but I think the Hispanic brothers the sisters may still have that, have them up there. I don't know.
And I'm not making mockery of anyone because sometimes.
No, this is just true.
We follow people. We follow the ways of our parents, our grandparents, and everybody, and we don't know why we do the things that we do. But let's just look at this. If my son was to get shot, I would not go to get shot and die. I would not go to the hospital and ask the doctor to give me the bullet and to take the bullet to the jewel.
Oh yeah.
To wear it around my neck.
Yeah. And you got people that do that.
I wouldn't do that because that bullet would only remind me of the pain that I am suffering from the loss of my child. Right. I wouldn't do that. Now I may get it. But people, Jesus was put on the cross. We don't believe he died on the cross, but people believe Jesus. But we know he was tortured up on the cross.
Yes, he was.
So why have we allowed the people that put him up on the cross to benefit from us wearing the cross? In the book, in the precursor, it talks about that. And when I was explained it to my children was taken aback. They was like, for real. Jesus, they said in the precursor, Allah said that the people that put Jesus up on the cross said, those who live by the cross will die by the
They
cross.
were talking about the Ankh.
And they was talking about the Ankh, but when they went to build the cross, they couldn't make the Ankh.
Right.
So they could only make the cross. So that which they put Jesus on did not represent that which Jesus represented.
And can I say something?
Go ahead.
For the audience that don't know what the Ankh is, it's a symbol that looks like a T with a circle on the top of it. It's the Egyptian symbol. And some people in their low level of thinking actually think
That's true.
that it represents the male, the point going up straight represents the male, the masculine,
Right.
and the circle they say represents the oval of a woman or the vagina of a woman,
Yeah.
and but that's not what it represents. What it represents, the perpendicular
Right.
represents spiritual ascension,
Right.
and the horizontal represents in a balanced manner,
Right.
and the circle represents the whole, the endlessness, the no beginning, no end.
Right.
For you to come into spiritual ascending to in a balanced manner of life, to become whole with the one. That's what it represents.
Right.
And you may see in the Egyptian symbol a circle with a horizontal line under it. It's the same thing as the Ankh, but it don't have the perpendicular line that represents spiritual ascending up. But this represents one existing in a balance with the Creator.
Right.
Okay? Now, in the Chinese symbol, they also have a circle, and it represents eternity, or excuse me, but infinity or endlessness.
That's right.
You know, endless being, endless time, endless space, and endless time. That's the Creator Most High. That's Ahezaah. That's El. That's Allaah. That's Allah. That's Ah and Amen. And
Whereas to show in that example, you show commonality, how the religions are so common from the different places. We talk about the Far East, we talk about ancient.
it's all the same, but you know, in order for you to come to the knowledge of what it is and being the same, you have to come to the one who created it, the one who nurtures it, the one who upholds it. The Lord said none can uphold his temple except it. It is the righteous. It says the righteous. I am the righteous. None can uphold my temple. You see? And all religions are the same. You're not going to kill Islam. Allah gave Adam Islam. He gave the Chinese Islam, Japanese Islam. They call it by all different names for all different languages.
Right.
But Allah gave it to Muhammad in the name Islam, and Islam has a meaning, just like Muslim has a meaning. Everything in creation is Muslim. They don't have to call us Muslim. That's why they make a distinction between Muslim and believers.
Right.
You understand? But do you recall what you were saying? Because I cut you on.
And you were talking about what Jesus being on the cross and what they
Right.
right.
I
It
mean,
being an offensive thing.
Offensive thing.
right.
Yeah, it is an offense because I know what she was talking about.
Yeah.
The Romans was disturbed with the Egyptian army. They knew what it represented.
Right.
Jesus went to Egypt to learn
That's what-
before he became enlightened.
That's right.
And when John was talking about Jesus coming, Jesus did his schooling all of those so-called 3 missing years.
Yeah.
He did his schooling, and he was coming back, and he had that ark with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he understood. He lived in light of that ark,
Right.
what it represented. It was universal.
That's right.
And when the Romans came, they could not take down the believers, the true believers, the faithful believers.
Right.
And they were disturbed. And the Jews, because Jesus was a so-called Jew, you know, the Hebrews back then I would call them,
Right.
because they were Hebrews. The Hebrews who had turned away from Israel to Judah
That's right.
in his way, the son of Israel, the son of Jacob, they had turned, they were against Jesus. Jesus came to renew things.
Right.
And people in the Christianity, they, you know, it's a shame, but they talking about, yeah, Jesus came to renew things, and now we can eat pork and everything else.
Yeah.
Jesus never ate no pork. No prophet of Allah ate pork. Allah said he created that thing to clean up disease and what have you. And it was a good doctor, a good cleaner of disease in Europe and what have you, when they had all kind of scurvy, everything going on. You understand? And then people turn around and eat it. Look at that thing. Examine that thing. You got those who are the elite of Christianity. I'm talking about those who are the enlightened of Christianity. They will not eat hog.
That's right.
And they'll tell their people, do not touch it. Don't eat it.
Mm-hmm.
They were given the same thing Muhammad was given.
That's right.
Moses, no. Why would Jesus come out? All the prophets and eat hog.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Allah gonna tell everybody for all time, don't eat hog, and then gonna send his only begotten son, the hog eater.
Right.
Get out of here.
It makes sense. Right.
Get out of here. You know, but people fall into that because of desire. They want to eat it because somebody else told them to eat it.
Yeah.
You
Back
understand?
to the slavery thing. Many times that's all they could eat to survive.
And that's offensive. And they offend their body.
Yes.
And I knew a woman who began to look like a pig. She ate so much hog. And when she passed on, it was hard for them to do anything with her body because worms just start coming all out of her. And I seen the sacks all over her body where the worms had infiltrated and was living in her. And I knew that, but I didn't say nothing. She was a relative of mine. I didn't say nothing to anybody about it.
Right.
But I was told it when she died, man, the worms just came up out of her. With that, you know, they house themselves in you.
Yes.
You know, and that comes from the pig. The Lord tells us, you know, people used to ask me, why you don't eat hog? Because you Muslim? No, I don't eat hog because the Lord said don't eat hog. Well, the chicken nastier than the hog. Yeah, but the Lord said don't eat the hog. If the Lord said don't eat the chicken, I ain't eating the chicken.
Right.
You understand? The Lord said eat the goodly things for you. So I try to find all the good things for myself to eat. So therefore, I have dispensed with a lot of things, even some beef.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've dispensed with a lot of things because the Lord said eat the goodly things. I ain't got nothing against no pig. That's another creature. I ain't got nothing. I got something against it going in my mouth,
Right.
in my bloodstream. You understand? But I'm not holding nothing against that pig. It's like, you know, keep that pig away from me, you know, because, you know, you can get a disease from touching it. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people have suffered from handling the pig. Those butchers have suffered, you know. But, you know, they say, well, you know, you just saying that because, you know, you in Islam and, you know, no, I ain't getting next to no rattlesnake. No, you understand? No cobra. I just keep them away from me.
That's right.
I ain't got nothing against them. But it's like I don't want them to come up on me and put their venom in me.
People listen to that, they don't hear the common sense of this. If people want to make common sense of things, they don't want to go with the
Because
fantasy.
their leaders don't tell them, go listen to that man. They say, stay away from that man, stay away from them people. He talking, he's insane. They can't say truth.
Arrogance and fear.
Right.
Those people, they're going to talk about insane, but they swear that they could have walked with Jesus or Muhammad.
Oh yeah, because I'm just like them, and they would be if Jesus was here, he would be talking the same thing I'm talking. Christ is here. Christ has come back. You know, but if you wait for Jesus to come back, people, you're gonna be waiting for eternity. You know, because Jesus was not promised to come back. Now John, the Lord has told me that John, who was in Revelation, is coming back.
Yes.
Because he got some work to do. And he indicates it in the book of Revelation. He got to prophesy another time. So the Lord said, John coming back. But Christ is here. Allah is Christ. Ahezaah is Christ. And this world going to be destroyed by Christ. And like some brothers say, he come to cut off the, what do you say?
Yeah.
Kill the pigs, break the crosses,
kill all the pigs. I said, man, that's all Jesus was Listen, brother.
Yeah.
Like, my children was with me. They could not stop laughing. They said, Jesus, holy man.
Gonna
It's
come
gonna
back
come
just
back
to kill the pigs.
and had nothing else to do but break some crosses and kill the pigs.
Right, he just said something in the Quran, though, that when the day of resurrection, the day of judgment, though, he will speak against those people who speak before us.
Jesus.
I didn't say worship me
Let
among
me tell you
others.
something.
I even split that in the
People
Quran as a sign.
People don't realize that when they die,
Yeah.
their body dies.
Right.
Their mind lives on.
Yes.
And they go to that throne and they recognize that their body, that everything that's about them and the contents of their real being is still their life. And then they see things, they hear the Lord, they see Jesus, or they see that which represents the Lord. And Jesus be there to bear witness against, just like the Muslims, Muhammad gonna bear witness against them, you know? And the Lord has said a thing that a lot of Muslims may really want to get on me about, but the Lord has said that all people today, when they come forth to the throne, they're going to be asked about me. Did you know about my messenger? Did you hear my messenger? I sent my messenger to you this day. So there's a lot of people who I've known that have passed already in these recent times, and it has been revealed to me that Ahezaah has questioned them about me, and that's a great shock. And see, my thing is, people think that I'm trying to find some way to seduce them to come and be a member, come follow me. No. My duty is to get this word out. I only call for helpers to help me get this word out. So much wisdom, so much information to help me. Just like all prophets call for helpers. Come help me get this word out. I'm not trying to get nobody's mind. I'm trying to free minds up. I ain't got time for the trash that's in everybody's mind. You know, for me to try to captivate somebody's mind puts me in captivation. I'm free and want to stay free.
I just want to add this, because you was talking and it made me laugh when you were saying that Ahezaah is going to ask the people on day of judgment about you. And, you know, and I thought about this story you told me a long time ago about this man that fell in the water and he was drowning, and how Ahezaah said to him, had someone to throw him out a raft, and he would take it. And then
rope.
It's got 3 different ways.
Lord said, no, I'll trust my Lord. My Lord gonna save me.
And then he died and went before the Lord, and the Lord said,
and he said, why you didn't save me? I trusted your words. You didn't come. And the Lord said, did not I throw you a life preserver? Did not I throw you a rope? Did not I send you a man to extend his hand?
And what made me think about it is because I know that I have talked to people and they say, oh, Jesus is coming.
Yeah.
Jesus is going to save me and everything. And I'm like, okay, well, you keep waiting for Jesus and you pass on.
Right.
And Jesus never come in that time period. You said Jesus is coming before you pass on.
Yeah.
And you go before your Lord, and the Lord asks you, was someone trying to tell you that I have sent someone here to give you truth?
How about their books? How about the book of Revelation, which says that the Lion of Judah, the root of David, who was Samuel, will be resurrected in this time and to come to you, not Jesus.
Right.
Even though they instituted and put Jesus' name in the book, but they need to go read the Aramaic or the Greek or whatever and find out exactly what it says. But we know it says that.
Yes.
You know, but the thing about it is that they ignore what's right there before their eyes.
Well, you know, our people, you know, I'm always trying to do it, I don't know.
Right.
But our people think that if they lend us an ear, that we're going to gain something from it.
Yeah, that's so
yeah.
And you know, our people don't want nobody to gain nothing from them.
Oh, no.
They'll skip over by your product and go way to
That's still
Tallahassee, Florida, about something with the Caucasian man. Caucasian man can sell them on anything. But if you try to give them the truth, they like, that rich person ain't listening to what you're saying. That Caucasian person ain't listening to what you're saying.
Right.
So I can't hear what you're saying. See you.
Yeah.
You know, but we ain't trying to take them for a dumb.
One thing we know is that the Caucasians that hear me, they know the truth.
Oh, yeah.
We know that we've startled some Jews, and we've startled some Caucasians. We've startled a lot of people that have responded. But the problem is they have been of evil, and they have responded in a negative way and have done underhanded things, and not realizing that they're not lords, they're not gods, they're not going to escape the wrath of the Lord Most High for the evil that they do. But it's our people, and what gets me is that the Lord says that with all this that it has given me, it could take it back, it don't even matter. because Christ is going to do what he promised.
I'm offended at time to come up to the essence. But hopefully you enjoyed what you heard and thank the Lord much. May his peace be about your presence. Have a good evening.
May his peace and blessing everything.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed?